Desperation is the disqualifier of your character. And I say that because, think about it, in any situation where you are desperate for something, when has it ever been good? Now, I understand a lot of people are going to think about either things like money, they're going to think about things like, well, what if you're in a life or death situation? Like, what if I'm dehydrated and I really need water, so I'm desperate for it, so I need it? And yes, there are those situations, but what I'm saying is, let me start with the simple ones first, and then I think I'll get into the complex ones. So let's start with like relationships, with whether it's friendships or just normal, boyfriend girlfriend thing. Desperation is the disqualifier of your character, and this is because if you get desperate for attention, or you get desperate to be in a relationship, I really feel like 9 times out of 10 that relationship will fail because you're settling for anything that gives you attention, gives you what you want, you're willing to settle for it, no matter what they do. So they could cheat on you, they could talk shit about you behind your back, they could try to get everything out of you for your money or your resources, and you're fine with it because they give you what you want, which is attention. And it's because you're desperate for it. But if you're not desperate for it, you're not willing to settle for these relationships just because you want to feel included in something. So that's why desperation is a killer, or it's also the disqualifier of your character, because you start to lose your sense of self. You start to lose who you really are as a person and what you really want. So that's the first one. Second one is money. I think that being desperate for money doesn't necessarily get you anywhere. I'm not saying don't have goals. I'm not saying don't want to go out there and make the most amount of money as you possibly can. That is not what I'm talking about at all. But what I am saying though is that if you get too desperate for money to where like you feel like you need it now, you need it this time, no matter what you have to do to do that, this is where disqualifying, killing your character is what happens. So this is where people like OnlyFans, I don't even know if I could say this, but workers, these people, I had to cut, but basically those people, they are willing to sacrifice their character because of the desperation for money. They want to make so and so much money, but they don't want to do it the right way. They want to do it the wrong way because of what? It's fast, it's easy, it's get rich quick. That's the point. And that's why these people do this, is because I feel like they're desperate for attention. They are desperate for money. And if they know they can get both, then they're going to start getting into that stuff like OnlyFans or whatever, no matter what it takes. Even if what they're doing is wrong, or even if what they're doing is ruining other people, they don't care as long as they get what they want. And what they want is attention and money. So these people are willing to sacrifice their whole entire character, ruin everything, just to get some money. And I think this is a terrible way to look at it. It's okay to be young and be like, man, I really want to be a millionaire right now. That's great. And do whatever it takes to get to that point. But do not sacrifice your character to do so. Would you rather be known as the person who is rich for the wrong reasons, and then this leads to some other bunch of bad examples because people then hate you, you could get death threats, people might want to come after you, there's a bunch of stuff. Or would you rather be known as the person who maybe took a little bit of time, got rich, just took more time, but got rich, and now people respect you because you did it the right way? Now, obviously, when you get to a certain point, people are going to hate on you no matter what. We've already been over that. No matter what you do in life, you're going to get hated on. But the point is, though, which would you rather have, a good reputation or a bad reputation? That's the thing I'm talking about. And desperation is what kills your character. It ruins it. It disqualifies it completely. It's out the window. You lost. And that's the thing. So yeah, and I think the third desperate, if you want to start getting into like survival stuff, like you're dehydrated, what do? You're desperate for water. You need water now. it's still gonna be a killer of you, because think about it. If you're desperate for water, it means you'll drink anything as long as it gets you what you want, which is getting rid of that thirst. So you might drink out of the wrong puddle, and now you got parasites and shit, and you got like cancer or something growing inside of you. Or you gotta get this thing out of your body and right now, or else you're gonna die. And you'd be way better off if you didn't even drink the water. So obviously, I'm saying this for the more people that are gonna be like literal about it and be like, well, in this situation, desperation's a good thing, or in this situation, desperation's a good thing, or whatever, whatever. But the point is that pretty much in every case, being desperate for something or someone will always be negative. It never is a positive. So my advice, to be honest, would be try to get away from desperation as much as possible. When you find yourself being like, man, I just want a girl right now, or man, I just want a boyfriend right now, or I just need the money right now, ask yourself, is it really ruining your character for this? And if you are a sane person, the answer is no. It is never enough to ruin your entire character, your entire reputation for a bit of money or a bit of clout or some attention from relationships that they're not even beneficial. It's all just taking away your time. Instead of sitting there spending time with the people that you hang yourself around with because you crave attention, you're desperate for it, you could be spending that time by yourself, working on yourself, whether that's in the gym, making more money, learning new things. It's, you have a phone, you have a computer, you have a tablet, you're watching this on YouTube, you have internet, you have some type of device that gives you access to learn a lot of things. Take the time out of your day to go learn whatever it is you want. Think in the back of your head, be like, what is something that I've always wanted to learn but I never really tried? Most people, I think, want to learn a new language. They're always like, that'd be really cool to learn. So why don't you just pick up your phone and just start typing, just start looking up stuff. How do I learn this language? How do I get started? What's a certain app I could use to get the basics down? Simple stuff like that. What's a book I could read that might help me configure English to French or whatever? There's so much more things you could do with your time than wasting it with people that just, they feed off of you. Or money, it's feeding off your desperation. It doesn't care about your character. Money doesn't judge, doesn't discriminate. It will give it to whoever works for it, even for the wrong reasons. So money does not care about you. You should care about you. So stop getting so desperate. When you catch yourself being desperate, if that's for a relationship or whatever, take a step back and really think about what you're doing. It's great to want these things, but ask yourself, is it really worthy enough to just start allowing everybody in my life, or just doing anything I possibly can for money? Like, no, it's never okay. Like I said before, and I think my last video, go on your own path to where you're actually like improving yourself each and every day, working on yourself. And I'm not saying this for like some self-improvement guru bullshit. That's not what I'm saying. Improve yourself in every way. You want to be a well-rounded person, man or woman. You want to be smart. You want to be successful. You want to have healthy relationships. I'll tell you right now, you're never going to have a healthy relationship being desperate for it. That's not how that works. Obviously, just like anything else, you need practice of being in a relationship to get good at it. So what do? Talk to people. You don't need to build relationships off the bat. Talk to them and see how it goes. If it goes well, ask for contact information or something, be like, yo, let's hang out sometime. Simple as that. Go up to somebody, compliment their shoes. I mean, it's really simple stuff that could you could turn a compliment into a whole conversation, and then it could go from a conversation to then a friendship or relationship. And I know a lot of you might have like social anxiety or whatever, and this is the time to improve on that. Work it step by step. Don't jump right into the playing field. Like, don't just think you're gonna finish it all in one go. Go increment by increment and slowly build up from there. If you want to make friends, but you're really socially awkward, you have a lot of anxiety. I'm no like psychologist, I don't know, but all I'm saying is what I would do. because I think a lot of people struggle with social anxiety, and I do too. I'm a very social person, but there's times that I'm like, I'm nervous. I don't want to talk to these people. I don't know if I want to talk to these people. What are they gonna think of me? You know, I think everybody has those thoughts go through their head, but it's about how you face it. So I think a really thing that helped me was to start off with complimenting some people. You can't go wrong with a compliment. And I know there's some people that are like, what if I'm going to a girl, I don't want to leave the compliment. Well, what's your goal? Is your goal just to get over the social anxiety? Is your goal to start a relationship with this person? If your goal is just to get over social anxiety, a compliment goes a long way, girl or guy, no matter who you are. If your goal is to build a relationship, sure, leading with a compliment could be a bad thing because they could think that you're only talking to them for the looks. But okay, let's be honest. That is what starts conversations. You are not going to know somebody's personality by looking at them. That's not how that works. But people think, you go up to them for the wrong or different reasons, which there is. But if we're being completely honest, if you're going for relationships and you see a girl, you're not going to date them because of their shoes. That's no. You're looking at them and you're like, man, this girl's hot, or man, this dude is good looking or hot or whatever. You're like, I really want to go talk to them. That's different. But anyways, yeah, just focus on you. For once in your life, you finally get the time to pay attention to yourself. Not worry about everybody else. And this is something I had to go through. My whole life, I was so focused on helping everybody else, helping everybody achieve whatever they want to achieve, being by their side, being a good friend, which is good. It is good. But it also made me realize, I'm spending this effort with the wrong people. And I think it's time to just take a step back and focus on me. I'm important now. Some of you might think that's selfish. I don't care. Because a lot of you need to do that. You probably need to do it right now. Because focusing on the wrong people is just as bad as being selfish. It is, if not worse. Because at least the selfish people, they're focusing themselves so much that they can at least improve on themselves. You're over here wasting your time on pointless people or pointless actions because you're scared of having an ego or you're scared of being selfish. Maybe for once in your life, take a step back and work on you. You matter, not the person next to you. It's good to help other people. I'm not denying that. But there does come a point in time where you have to focus on you. You cannot keep carrying everybody on your back. You think you can. Everybody thinks they can. Everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to carry my whole family, all these friends from my hometown, all this and that. But then quickly you'll realize that when you start actually getting serious about the stuff you want to do, it gets very hard to carry all these people because what happens if somebody's against your ideas? What are you going to do? You just going to give up on your whole dream or whatever because one person said something? Or maybe, let's say you go with your dream, but you stay with this person, but he keeps just nagging at you. He keeps bitching at you about how your dream's pathetic or you're not going to make anything out of it. I don't know what you're doing. You're wasting your time. Go get a job, It's up to you. It's your life. But what I'm saying, though, is that it does get a point in time where you got to start focusing on you. You cannot keep wasting your time around these people, and you cannot keep getting desperate for relationships. That leads you nowhere. You can't keep getting desperate for money either because, well, that's a one and go thing. Once you do that, once you get desperate for money and you start doing like you sell your body or whatever it is for that, you're done. There is no, with that, and especially nowadays with that, if you're a woman and you just sell your body for money, whether that's on OnlyFans or whatever, you're done. You might find a guy, but he is not going to be the guy you want. Because the moment these guys that you want to have find out about this stuff, the high value ones, the ones who, and I'm not even talking about just money, like just high value in general, like these people take care of themselves, they got a good head on their shoulders, they think straight, maybe they look good, whatever. These dudes that you want, they are not going to settle for you if they know that your body's just sitting out there for everyone to see, or you've been with 5,000 dudes. It's no one's going to take you seriously. And it's the same thing with guys. I think girls are more willing to settle down with a guy who's been with a lot of women, but that's gender roles. That's just how it is. Women get away with stuff that men can't. Men get away with stuff that women can't. But for men, it's like, honestly, I don't even know. I don't know, I kind of just lost track of thinking. But yeah, I mean, yeah, selling your body. That it's not good to do that. If you're a woman, are you gonna respect a guy because he put his wiener out online to get paid 10 grand a month? Or would you respect a guy more that took the time to build something out of him and be his true self, not just an image, but his true self of either starting a business, starting content, working in trades, going to college, becoming a doctor or a lawyer? Who are you gonna take more seriously? The guy who just laid it out for everyone to see, or for some quick money, or the guy who took time to build a foundation and then create something even more? And the thing is, usually what takes longer is what's better, not only for just your character, but for money too. The people who, you know, like Bezos and all these people, they've been in that business for years. It wasn't just they just started it and they became a billionaire off rip. That's not how that works. These OnlyFans people, these, you know, workers, they do it for a get rich quick, and it works. But once you get to a certain age, that money stops coming in. And if your expenses are super high and you're living probably above your means, whether that's you live in a mansion or something, once that money stops coming in, that money goes away really fast. That's why people go broke and they go bankrupt, because they don't pay attention to what they're paying for. They're living above their means. This is what causes them to lose houses and properties and cars and stuff, because they can't afford it. Because once that money's gone, it's gone. That's why I'm saying, do not fall into desperation for money. Do not think you want to get rich quick. Don't think you need to be desperate for relationships. Do not get in a relationship quick. It's not supposed to be built like that. If it was, everybody would have a relationship. And yeah, sure, you would go out and find a random dude on the street and be in a relationship with them, girl or guy, you know, be friends with them or whatever. But then you might find out, when you actually take the time to learn about these people, that this is someone you do not want to be around. So take yourself time, give yourself time to learn about these people and really figure out, is this person going to benefit my life, or are they going to take more from me out of my life? And be honest. Do not think with desperation, because this is what kills everything. So if you're being honest with yourself and you're like, this person will not benefit me, he is going to take more than what I get, or she's going to take more out of my life than what I receive. It's not 50-50. We're not both benefiting off each other. Then it's, you know your answer. Do not put time in. Those are not real people. They're just there to get what they want. The right people are going to try without you having to ask, because they want to be in your life. Those are the people that try. People who don't give a shit aren't going to try. Or they're going to wait for something to go wrong, and then they'll act like they'll try for like a week or two, and then they'll go back to normal. Those people are a piece of shit too. They waste your time as well. I've been through them. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, maybe you have been through them. So just understand that it's okay. Just don't let desperation kill your whole mindset or your character, because it really is just it's a bad path to go down. Learn from other people, learn from other people's mistakes. I feel like that'll make you a lot wiser in the end. And learn from your own mistakes. If you've been desperate before, don't keep falling in the same trap. Because if you're like, man, I was really desperate for this girl, I was really desperate for this guy, how did that relationship end? Oh wait, it ended. That's right. Because it wasn't genuine from the beginning, that's why. It wasn't a real relationship. It was built off desperation. Think of it as a foundation. If you're building something off of desperation, do you think that's a good foundation to be on? Would you put your house on desperation? Would you put your car on desperation? The answer is no, because it's a poor platform. You're basically putting your house onto a platform that is a wood plank with cracks in it. A storm could blow that thing off. You're putting your car onto pop tires that have no air in them, and you expect it to drive. That's what desperation is. So when you think of relationships, you're putting yourself, you're using desperation as a foundation for these relationships that you want to have, which is great. but don't settle for anything. Do what you know is going to be best for you. I think I've talked enough. It's been about 20 minutes, but yeah. Desperation is the disqualifier of your character. But other than that, life isn't too short to make a change.